brief housekeeping. Just making sure that this is being shown live on YouTube and by extension that it will be shown on my blog. So if you bear with me with dealing with some of the technical aspects. No, good, I got the volume down. And yes, hopefully all shall be well. But oh God, I look awful. So yes, if you just hang on. No, that's not what we do it. There we go. So, just a few things for you to know about. Danuta King won't be joining us this evening. The one, two reasons she's had to cry shy at the last minute. So the one or two of us might not be able to turn it. We'll see how we go. And then we've got Liz Saul will definitely be with us. And my wife has had a long day, so she's had to cry shy. I'm hoping she might join us at some later date, but I'm rather doubtful on that. But yeah, everyone seems to be very busy at the moment, or has had a busy day, and it's all, gone a bit exhausting at the end of it. But I'm a bit whacked out myself, to be honest. But again, we'll see how it all pans out. And yes. Right, so if I check on my other side, and what I'll do is gives me a chance to look and see whether any comments have been made and stuff. But yes, so if you just joined, hello. We'll be having a live stream discussion this evening on Christmas 2021 and how it compares to Christmas last year. And obviously there's some restrictions this year, but not like they were last year. So it's still a bit of an unusual year and unusual time planning for people. Not least as we've heard with Her Majesty the Queen has been cancelled her pre-Christmas dinner, members of the family, and that echoes across the country with some people cancelling Christmas parties and dinners. I'm one of them. I was organised a Christmas dinner some weeks ago for Saturday the 18th. That's now going to be a private Zoom event in the evening rather than a Christmas meal in the afternoon, and very disappointing, very frustrating, but that is life, unfortunately. So we'll just have to see how it all comes from there. But yes, such is life. Now waiting for, let's see any guests. If no one does, I can't blame anyone. Everyone seems to have been having a heck of a day today through various reasons. I think everyone's exhausted for various reasons. So, it's, I don't blame anyone for not turning up, to be honest. Totally forgiving on that front. But I will have to fill in airtime if that's the case. and wonder about all these greys that are just turning up under my hair. And a double chin. And hang on. Oh, all these buzzing. Oh, I'm having comments. Just let me wait there for a moment. Tim Roll Pickering is saying he's having difficulty signing in. And Liz Saw's dialing in to listen, but she can't really chat until she's off the train, which is understandable. But hi, Liz, if you're listening. Liz was with us last year. And this is basically, hang on. Yeah, this is basically a sequel to last year, where we discussed what it would be like having Christmas and the coronavirus. This year we're discussing, hopefully, what it's like to have Christmas under a partial lockdown rather than a full lockdown. And last year with me, there was my wife Rachel, who co-hosted, and also Tom Harris, former Labour MP, and Liz Saul, the local radio broadcaster, local radio journalist. She has broadcasted, but and Danuta Keane, the former Guardian journalist, and we had an interesting discussion, the five of us. So I was hoping for a sequel. Well, I mean, this is a sort of sequel, but Tom said just about almost immediately, or indicated he wouldn't be available, and Danuta, Liz is here. Couldn't make it this evening, but Liz is here, and I'm just letting in Liz Saul as we speak. Hi, Liz. Hello. Oh, you're on the train. Oh gosh, and a festive coloured mask as well. But still connecting to audio, but hang on. Yeah. Can you hear me at all, Liz? I can hear you.
I'm on a train.
Yes. All right. Well, this is a bit of an unusual.
I thought I'd at least join.
Yeah. Well, you're the first one so far. Tim's struggling to sign in. Danuta can't make it.
And neither can Liz. I saw the discussion.
Yeah.
I'd left work a bit late. I should have left by 8, but there was breaking news kicking off. So.
And Rachel's quite exhausted, I think, after today. Everyone seems to have had a very exhausting day.
I've had quite an exhausting week, one way and another, between COVID updates and apologising for Christmas parties, and then Christmas parties being cancelled.
And and as you know, I had to cancel a Christmas dinner for Saturday, which I really didn't want to do, but the way everything was going on, and I had, apparently you're not supposed to have more than 10 people under some of the rules anyway, as in that have been brought in recently.
I can totally see them suggesting that. Well, we were listening to Chris Whitty this morning, and he was saying, I'm not going to make a decision for you, but you've got to think about what your priorities are. If your priority is to go to all the Christmas office parties, that's your business.
Don't blame us if you're, Well,
it's true.
It is.
But no, there'll always be an element of society that.
Hang on. I just got to. Yeah. Oh, Tim's coming. Oh, excellent. Sorry. It's just got some back feed there. And Tim's. Here we go. Tim. Well, he's sort of there. Well, we've got an image of Tim. He's on mute. Looks like he's struggling with volume. we'll keep talking when Tim's ready. He's ready.
Mm.
Oh, so how was last Christmas under COVID?
I just worked. It was the first Christmas without mum, so
Yeah. So it was just working all day. But what was the environment like? I take it you're working with others that day or during
um,
holidays.
I I mean I always work Christmas anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but neither mum nor I like this time of year, so
No.
either she'd come to me or I'd go to her, depending
Yeah.
on where I was working.
Yeah. Hi,
So,
Tim.
Hi. So I'm
hello, Tim.
trying to
You
get
all
Zoom to stop jamming.
right?
Yeah, that's quite all right. We were talking about how we spent Christmas last year. How was yours?
Very quiet. I stayed in London,
Hmm.
just sat at home and enjoyed the telly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it was pretty much on your own. So did you do anything for in lieu of Christmas dinner, like get your splash out on something, or in terms of a meal, or
Not not really, because the way everything locked down so close.
yeah,
Cut, rather cut off the options.
yeah. I'd Rachel and I mean, I think it was the first time we hadn't spent Christmas with an extended family. So it
That
was
must have
just,
been quite nice.
it was, but it did feel strange because we were used to celebrating it with other people
Mm.
as well as ourselves. I mean, it's nice for part of the day, but the whole day does feel a bit, strange. Not that we would tire of each other easily. We don't. It's just more what you're used to.
Mm.
And so we got ourselves a sort of Christmas dinner for four that was easy to cook and stuff that we had for two. And it was very nice. I mean, Rachel did some of the essential cooking. It was very good turkey and cranberry sauce and the mashed potatoes. It was all brilliantly done. I mean, heads up to Rachel for that. I don't think what I said. We went on a walk within the radius we're supposed to. We went on a country walk, but yeah, it was nice but surreal.
Mm.
It's I do. There are things I like about Christmas. I do like the big. I like the moments like when there's just the two of us. But I do like also the big family occasion as well, which
Mm.
I do think means a great deal. So what plans do you both have for Christmas this year?
Well, it's funny you say about occasions and things because Christmas has never been an occasion for me. When I
No,
was little, nothing was open, so
no.
mum would invite my grandparents over or a couple of friends or
Mm,
other waifs and strays, as she put it, who didn't want to be on their own but didn't particularly celebrate either.
no.
And now it's just me. I say it's just me, but I always work and I have done for about the last
Yeah.
20
Don't you even
years.
don't you even take advantage of what's on the things that are on television during the
So
holidays? No.
apart from 1 year,
Sorry. Uh,
so
you
I'll be
could,
at work
yeah.
in one of they're providing us with a Christmas. Could you repeat that?
I was saying, don't you even watch television in your spare time during the holidays? I mean, take advantage of what's.
A bit. I mean, the thing is because I'm watching the news
Yeah,
at work, so
yeah,
very often I won't watch television as such when I get home again. I might
no,
watch Netflix or, something mindless. The possibilities are endless. The way we watch and consume television, video, film programs these
mm,
days, the possibilities are endless. So actually,
yeah,
there's a Christmas special and a new series of Death in Paradise, which I've always enjoyed. I probably won't watch it when it comes onto the television over Christmas because I'll be at work, but I expect I'll catch up with that.
Yeah.
A Christmas tradition that's quite funny that my mum and I have always had is to go on Christmas Eve to the supermarkets and buy up all the ridiculously cheap produce. And so then it's almost like a potluck as to what you then might eat in the coming week.
Oh dear.
But
Tim.
apart from that, I don't take any notice of, for me, and I'm sure you'll understand this, Paul, as a Christian.
Yeah.
For me, Christmas is a Christian holiday and should be respected as such. And even though I'm not Christian, I respect it as a religious holiday. So all the nauseating commercialism and relentless hoo-ha is not my cup of tea either.
But there are people who celebrate Christmas who aren't Christian, but see it as a much needed oasis in a long winter.
Yes, which is lovely, but I don't think you have to spend thousands of pounds in order to enjoy it.
I get that, yeah. So Tim, what are your plans for this Christmas? And also, is there anything on television you're looking forward to?
Television, I've not looked at the schedules yet.
No.
Plans not firm at the moment. I might go to stay with my father, possibly see some of the extended family.
Yeah.
That was the Christmas tradition every year until last year.
Yeah. Well, all the best with that. I mean, Rachel and I, we normally have 1 year at her parents, 1 year at my parents, and my parents live locally to us. But everything's gone a bit pear-shaped last year, and it sort of is slightly this year, with the end result that her parents are having dinner with us here on the 28th, but we're spending Christmas Day with my parents. So I suppose it keeps the odds and evens, you know, in numbers of years tided. In terms of what's on television, which I'm looking forward to seeing Ghosts, the Christmas special. It's one of my favorite sitcoms.
Oh yes,
Ghosts.
I like that as well.
So
and there's going to be a fourth series.
Yeah,
as well
they've got a
of
fourth
that.
series planned, and also Around the World in 80 Days with David Tennant as Phileas Fogg. Which is on Boxing Day. I'm very much looking forward to that.
That sounds
Yes, and obviously there's the New Year's Day Doctor Who episode, but yeah, we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, so what was that? I was going to lost my train of thought. Yeah,
So I'm half checking my top.
no, it's fine. Well, I mean, do you tend to have expectations of Christmas, or do you have expectations this year? I mean, not necessarily about Christmas per se, perhaps in your case, Lid, but in terms of how you expect it and how you spend that time in general. No? Tim?
I guess it's just normally just the annual routine. It's not something you give
Christmas
a
because
great
I'd
deal of
rather.
thought to.
Hang on. I think there's a bit sounds all over the place. Sorry, Liz, you were saying?
I have very low expectations of Christmas. I think partly because I don't celebrate it. I prefer to work. So actually, I like it to be calm and settled. Well,
yeah.
Because it's quite. That's a good routine because it stops me getting maudlin and it gives me something to do because I'd rather be in work, and then people who do celebrate Christmas in the traditional sense or want to be with their families, that's fine.
Okay. Tim, you were saying
it's not something you often give much thought to because it's just been more or less the same basic routine for decades.
Yeah.
So it just becomes rounds of the same, going through the same things. seeing many of the same faces.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of expectations, I suppose it's not. There have been few Christmases where all my expectations have almost been met, but I think in this perverse way, I think that's a good thing. I think if I ever had the totally perfect Christmas, there would be something wrong. It's difficult to explain. It's how I feel emotionally.
Now, there's an interesting point, because I don't think anyone or anything can be perfect.
No, exactly. I would think there was something wrong if everything went totally like clockwork. I mean, I do like family Christmas. I like to see a lot of my family, and I like to see as many friends as possible. And when I say that, I don't just mean the Christmas holidays. I mean throughout December.
Actually, I'm sure you've answered this question before.
Yeah.
But for you, when does Christmas start?
Oh, no one has, and it's a very good question. Preparation. I mean, what we all forget, is that it's essentially two seasons. There's Advent and there's Christmas.
Yes.
Advent is the preparation. Christmas is the event. And I think what's happened in society in general, not just within the church, is Advent and Christmas have somehow become merged, and it's all over after Boxing Day on the 27th. But it's, I suppose on one level, for me, it starts whichever comes first Sunday in Advent or the first of December. But in terms of preparation, but in terms of actually relaxing, I think for me, Christmas starts when I have a few days off from work. So if my last working day is the 23rd, then Christmas for me starts on the evening the 23rd. Officially, in my mind, it finishes around about the 2nd of January. Officially, it always finishes at the 6th of January, but I think everyone regards Christmas as over by the 6th of January. So, yeah, it's...
Now, that's interesting, because, sorry, I've switched the video off because I'm now off the train and walking back to the house, and I'm sure you don't want to see me plodding along the street, so...
That's fine.
I'm sure nobody else does either. Christmas for me, and the things I've learned about proper Christmas, if you like, is from somebody who I affectionately called my Catholic nan, Mrs. Doran.
Yes.
And she said pretty much along the lines of what you just said to start with, that Advent is the first bit of Christmas, if you like.
Yeah.
Advent is Latin for coming.
Yes.
So that whole preparation and getting ready for things. And so, to my mind, nothing should start before the first Sunday in Advent.
Yes.
And even then, it's not the whole put the tree up and everything. It is just preparation and getting ready and candles. So.
Yeah, which is all good.
And then you have the 12 days of Christmas, which ends by the 6th of January.
Yes. I think in 12th night used to be, in the Tudor times, it used to be there was a heavy emphasis on it lasting 12 days. You had essentially, I think, a 12-day holiday. There's a very good documentary that was on Channel 4. I don't know if it's in their archives at the moment, about a Tudor Christmas. Or Christmas.
Well, it wouldn't just be a 12-day holiday. It would be a 12-day debauch party.
Well, there was a bit of wassailing of people going around to each other's houses. And I mean, it was fascinating. I ought to watch it again, really. I'll look it up on the Channel 4 website after this is finished. But
Well, you also alluded to that even if you're not Christian, you celebrate some time off, some time with family, just chilling out for a bit. And then that's nice as well. But as I said, the thing I object to is that Mum used to call it false jollity, and nauseating commercialism that you feel obliged to spend loads of money and smile all the time when you don't feel like it. Bar humbug.
Yes. Well, that lead interestingly to a question I've got in mind a bit later on. But I was just wanting to ask about Hanukkah, which is
Yes.
obviously the Jewish celebration, which is in December.
Well, you say that, but this year it started in November because
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah.
like many of the other religions, I suppose, or minority religions in this country, in the UK, the Hebrew calendar follows a lunar calendar. So it means the major festivals are like at a slightly different time each year. This year it's particularly early. So we're all done and dusted. We're finished. I gave my presents out back to work. I did take a couple of days off for that. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. And it's based on a miracle from biblical times, as these things invariably are. That after the destruction of the Second Temple, there was only enough paraffin oil to light the temple, light the candles in the temple for one night. But there was a miracle and it lasted for 8 nights.
Yeah.
So Hanukkah is the festival of lights and the miracle of light in the darkness, overcoming hope, or overcoming destruction with hope.
Yes. Which is it does me, and I think hope is something that has in common with Advent. Although the thing, the need for hope, I think during the time that of year that we're in, and that does mean something. I think. We got some. I got this. I do apologize. I did get slightly distracted because we did get 1 or 2 comments actually go. One was TV looks good, says Rosie M. I'm hoping to watch Carols from Kings, Call the Midwife, and that David Tennant Phileas Fogg show on Boxing Day. So got a good choice. I mean, I'm looking forward to David Tennant, and of course, Carols from Kings is what is very popular, as you know. But yes, so does Hanukkah work as as how much do you celebrate Hanukkah and how much does it mean to you personally?
Well, Hanukkah goes on for 8 nights. That's the story of the festival, as it were.
Yeah.
You're not expected to take 8 days off work.
No.
But you do each evening light another candle.
Yes.
So you have a Hanukkah or a 9-pronged menorah.
Yes.
And the tradition is you exchange a small present every night for 8 nights, but actually these days you just tend to exchange one present at the beginning. You light the candles, as I say. You sing songs. Rock of Ages or Ma'atzor is the main song you sing, but then there's the dreidel song, the Hanukkah song. You get all sorts of well-known people singing Hanukkah songs. And actually, rather famously, I was at a Michael Bublé concert in December a few years ago.
Yes.
And he said, it was the beginning of December, and he says, oh, is it too early to sing a Christmas song? So everyone was like, no. And actually, then he sung Let It Snow, which is a nice festive song. It's not the most Christmassy, I suppose. But anyway, and at the end, he said, Happy Christmas, everybody. And I shouted out, Happy Hanukkah. And he looked down at me, grabbed my hand and sang me a Hanukkah song. That was great fun.
Yeah. Rosie M's just responded again. She says, Happy Hanukkah to Liz.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Rosie. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that this has actually led to something I didn't write down, but thought would be interesting to put through. From what you said about Let It Snow. Because Let It Snow by Dean Martin, I think it's part of the soundtrack to the film Die Hard 2. Now, last night, I think you can both see where this is going. Last night, I was watching late at night. Mark Kermode does this history of cinema thing on BBC Two or BBC 4.
Yes.
and he was talking about the history of Christmas as shown in the cinematic history of it in various films. So obviously, A Christmas Carol was touched on numerous times in its versions, but one of which is he's absolutely of the view that Die Hard is a Christmas film.
Now, why
Even
does he
down
come to that conclusion?
so, well, it's set during Christmas, but I mean, Bruce Willis argued that it's not a Christmas film; it just happens to be an action film set during Christmas holidays. But he said Alan Rickman's pretty much a pantomime villain. This is Mark Commode making the argument that he's a pantomime villain. It's all about hope amidst despair. It's he seemed to be clutching
Well,
at
so
straws.
far, you could also be describing Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves,
I know, but
because Alan Rickman's a pantomime villain in that.
Yes, but he cancels Christmas, so it doesn't
I was
count.
going to say. So
That's what pantomime villains do.
What I was going to put to you both is, do you regard Die Hard as a Christmas film? Well, I think I know Liz's answer to this.
No, I'd subscribe to Bruce Willis's thing that just happens to be set at Christmas, you know.
Tim?
Well, I'm going to confess, I've never actually seen Die Hard.
Oh, dear.
No, it's one of those films that everyone's supposed to have seen, but you just never get round to it.
It's a very good action film. And Alan Rickman plays Hans Gruber is pretty similar to how he played the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So you can, imagine that. Yeah, I think my favourite bit is when the police they go along with being this terrorist group, and they give a list of fake demands along the release of our brothers in arms in this 70 members of the provisional IRA. I think Baader Meinhof, the Red Army faction, all the familiar names were thrown. And then he mentions Golden Dawn. And one of the henchmen mouths, "What are they?" And then he cuts the phone and goes, "Oh, just some group I read in Time magazine." In pure Rickman style. But yeah, it's a good bit. But I mean, it is debatable as to whether it's a Christmas film or not. I do think. But that leads to another question, which is funny. If we, as with Desertine Discs, apart from the Bible and complete works of Shakespeare, apart from the Nativity and Twelfth Night, do you have a favourite Christmas story? Hello? Hello?
I suppose the Snowman's one. No, just, I don't tend to do much reading over Christmas.
No. But is there any particular films you like to see over Christmas?
I suppose that there's a bunch that you used to always see on, like The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
That is your favourite Christmas story?
Well, it's one that always seems to be on. I do quite like it.
Yeah.
The one that's my absolute favourite film that always seems to be on over Christmas is Back to the Future, which isn't a Christmas film either.
No. Mind you, I don't know if you both remember this, but there used to be a tradition on Christmas Day growing up where after the Queen's speech on ITV, they would show a James Bond film.
Yes.
And they did, so, I suppose, and that's not really festive, although that has been debated among some Bond fans lately. I mean, obviously, On Her Majesty's Secret Service might be regarded as a Christmas film because some of the action takes place over Christmas, but then again, you're in Die Hard territory.
And the thing is there are plenty of films that do happen that Christmas might be included only because the film might be over several years,
Yeah. So I mean, I suppose my favourite Christmas story, if I mentioned, I do like A Christmas Carol, in many of its various forms, including yes, the Muppet version.
Have you ever seen Scrooge the musical?
Oh, with Albert Finney.
And well, I was thinking more of the stage musical actually, which had
right.
Anthony Newley in the title role. But yes,
yeah, it's been a long while since I've seen that film all the way through. But I like the Robert Zemeckis animation film of A Christmas Carol, Jim Carrey in various roles.
I like the cynical version of Scrooge, which is called Scrooged, with Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Set in the modern day, yes.
Yes, it's the bit where, as a TV exec, he said, "Why do you hate Christmas?" "I don't hate Christmas. I love Christmas. So many people tuning in to watch television. So many people." So, "Are you coming for Christmas dinner with me and family?" "No." That kind of don't expect. It's the the juxtapositions there. But yeah, it's very good, that version. I've never really seen It's a Wonderful Life, and apparently that's a film most people have seen at Christmas. I've only seen bits of it.
I've seen it, and I don't know, it made me a bit sad, so I haven't gone out of my way to watch it again.
Well, everyone talks about it being a saccharine film, when really it's almost something on the par of EastEnders, which
yes, right.
I always have a
forerunner to EastEnders.
Sorry?
Forerunner to EastEnders.
Yeah, and I have a problem with EastEnders over Christmas, because it's like you get the impression there's a bunch of sadists among the script writers and producers. How do we make this more depressing this year?
Well, the idea is that
not just EastEnders.
Nobody could possibly think they have the most depressing Christmas imaginable when they've seen Albert Square that year.
Oh yeah, I know that's the theory behind it, but I mean, I don't.
Well, I mean, the other cynical theory is the ratings.
Well,
this may shock you, but there was once a time when the worst day of the year for soaps was Christmas Day.
Yeah. Yes.
And soaps like Coronation Street would actually skip it altogether rather than risk humiliation.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, EastEnders is misery porn, and it's increasingly so. And I'm one of these few people who actually doesn't want to be on downers over Christmas. It's as much of a struggle as it is without. So I'm one of those who it doesn't work for me. I need lots of cheery stuff. But
I don't blame you.
Sorry?
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so I mean, I looked at the Christmas day scheduling in the Christmas Radio Times this year, and it was the two big highlights were Mrs. Brown's Boys and EastEnders, which is awful. So I've only got the Queen's Speech to look forward to.
But, well, if you have a look on some of the Freeview channels, I'm sure there'll be some other films you can look at.
Well, there is that, and I probably will be, channel hopping at some point during the day. Oh, there's they've rediscovered a missing, believed, lost Morecambe and Wise Christmas special from the early 70s that's recently been found. So I'm going to watch that evening. I forgot what I was going to say. I think television scheduling over Christmas has never been brilliant. I mean, I remember looking at old copies of the Radio Times and the Radio Times Genome site. Christmas Day seems to be awful. This is
the thing. The expectation is that the only thing that people may just tune into is the Queen's Speech.
Yeah, so they'll put in the drop. It's like the better quality stuff will be shown on Boxing Day or on Christmas Eve or in the days before and after. They're, the things like, oh, I'll watch that over Christmas. But yeah, there's some. I mean, I remember there's one time I was a bit gobsmacked when I saw I looked up at random Christmas Day 1960. After the Queen's Speech, Billy Smart's Circus. I've got nothing against circuses, And same, and I'm going to get flamed for this somewhere. But it's like, it's not necessarily what I want to spend Christmas Day doing. You know, I suppose it's all horses for courses, really. But yeah, interestingly, the year television.
What about you, Tim? What would you put on a Christmas schedule on BBC One on Christmas Day if it was down to you?
That's a good question.
It's a very good question, because I mean, I'd probably go for a soppy family film after the Queen's speech. Well, that's the tradition these days.
Yeah, I'd put on something like A Christmas Carol or Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I think the problem is everyone's seen Christmas Carol so many.
Well, it depends what version.
Yeah, but I think there does come a point where you've seen too many versions.
Well, there is that, but again, I do agree, a family film or something. You know, there's Rosie M's just as message saying regarding this, she's recommended something called the Christmas Movie Channel, but she also says, totally agree with your choices. I wouldn't watch EastEnders either. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't know. If anyone out there who,
I think, Paul, you've sort of answered your own question, that, you know, the TV schedule for Christmas isn't very good, but equally you're among those people who, apart from the Queen's speech, you wouldn't sit in front of the television all day.
Well, no, I mean, hang on. Hold your horses, everyone. Just let me disappear for a moment. Only a moment.
We're going to have to teach him something about stepping away from the camera, given the angle we saw.
Sorry, Christmas Radio Times. Now, I'm one of these annoying British people who I get the Christmas Radio Times and I circle everything I want to watch. So I'm not going to bore you with what I've said. I'm going to look for somewhere where there's a day where there's a lot of circles.
I was going to say, according to what you said earlier, it would be a very short list.
No, I just have Tuesday, the 21st of December, I've circled The Goes Wrong Show, The Spirit of Christmas, Christmas University Challenge, episodes 8, 9, and 10 of What We Do in the Shadows, the documentary on Prince Philip, Icelandic Spaces, George's Icelandic Adventure, about built houses in Iceland. God, I'm an exciting person, aren't I? And A Merry Tudor Christmas with Lucy Worsley. So
now, you say about Iceland, but actually I've been there in December on business a few years ago. It was -17 every day.
I'd love to visit Iceland.
Oh, it's beautiful. And even though I was there in the dead of winter,
yes,
the sun was out. So it was very crisp, sunny winter's morning.
Yeah.
It was only daylight for about 5 or 6 hours. You're within the Arctic Circle up there.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things in Iceland, it's a Lutheran country in terms of religion. So they do go all out celebrating Christmas. Got the most beautiful Lutheran Hallgrímskirkja, I think is Icelandic for cathedral or church. But it's a very beautiful building, and it's got a tower. You can go to the top and see all the mountainous scenery, and it's breathtaking. But they have, I don't think it's a law exactly, but every balcony of every tower block of every tenement building, apartments, everything, when it gets to winter, they all have lights on their buildings, not necessarily Christmas lights, but just a string of lights, because they have so little light during the winter, and because they have quite a high proportion of seasonal affective disorder, that they have those lights, and they have a lot of music throughout the winter to keep people going.
Depression is a thing a lot of Scandinavians apparently have because of, the long dark nights. I don't know how true that is in itself, but that's something I've heard.
It's particular. Well, yeah, everybody gets depression and seasonal affective disorder, as I say, but
Yeah.
it's particularly prevalent and quite high proportionally in Iceland, because also Iceland has a population of less than 500,000 people. So
Yes. Okay. Well, that's something to go on. But yeah, as I was saying with the Christmas Radio Times, there is plenty of exciting things to watch. So if it was left to me to schedule, even if it was a repeat of Blackadder's Christmas Carol, the public would get, but I'd be a nightmare to be if it was totally left to me. It'd be like, I don't care if half the country want to watch it. I don't like it. So I hope I never end up one of those grumpy old men in charge of the remote control, because
well, we could ask Rachel, but it does sound like you're halfway there.
I would shout out. I don't know if she's watching, but I mean, Rachel's very aware of the pompous side of my nature, and she deals with it very well. I'm quite touched by the fact that she loves me in spite of that, but but yeah, I'm one of these people. I have strong opinions about a lot of things, so it's inevitable I have strong opinions on what should and should not be on a mainstream television over Christmas. So but oh well, yes. But anyway, I think we've covered nearly everything here, funnily enough. But yeah, it's good. It was good to chat with you both over this, and good to
Likewise, it's good to catch up.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good to ask the questions that you never actually think about.
Yes, well,
what question? I haven't heard any questions from you, Tim.
Oh, I'm terrible at questioning.
Oh, I don't know. When it comes to politics, you're very good at throwing in.
I was going to say, surely we can't ignore the elephant in the room of what may or may not happen. It's changing so fast, and I work in a newsroom, and every hour there's something different or some speculation. So I think people are quite worried.
Yeah. Will you be staying up tonight, Tim, just out of interest?
I have a frustrating habit of always doing that with a by-election.
Okay. Do you want
I've not been to North Shropshire, but I did spend a lot of time on the streets in Bexley.
Yeah. Do you want me to give you my commiserations now, or would you rather have waited until the following day?
Now. North Shropshire is a very beautiful part of England, Oswestry in particular.
Yeah.
We've done some outside broadcasts from there this week, but actually it's a lovely market town, Oswestry in particular, but North Shropshire quite rural and everything, and quite traditional as well. So various things will come into play.
Yeah, Rosie M's just commented. She said, I went to Iceland with a friend a few years ago, loved it. It was March, but still freezing with snow. I can echo something. I was actually in Chicago in the US in March, and my goodness, it was absolutely Arctic over there because they get all the wind. So absolutely freezing.
So that's why it's called the Windy City.
It is. When it goes through the streets where you got all the skyscrapers, like you're literally in winter, cold, icy wind tunnels.
Mm.
It's but great city. But good to chat with you guys, and congratulations or commiserations, Tim, with regards to.
Well, I'm old enough to remember the mid-90s, and my late mentor once stood in a by-election as a Conservative candidate and got in the Guinness Book of Records.
Mm. All right.
One of the biggest swings against a defending candidate.
It'll be interesting to see how this turns out then. But in any case, genuine commiserations or congratulations, whichever is needed. And I hope you all have a.
He'll send you a text message now about 4 a.m. just to tell you either way.
That's
Tim's
a very bold prediction of when the by-election is going to declare.
Yeah.
The one thing you can always predict on by-election night is that the word "soon" will lose all meaning.
That's true, actually. I've been expecting an announcement in 15 minutes in this morning, and then it to about 2 hours later, you're still waiting. But oh dear. Anyway, all the best to you both, and I hope to catch up with you both at some point in the next few days or weeks, I'm sure, and have a happy rest of the month.
Yeah. And incidentally, a Merry Christmas to all of you at home.
And to you, Tim.
And to you. Merry Christmas to you both, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone who's taken the trouble to tune in.
Yeah, cheers. And to everyone watching as